Hello, my name is Stephanie Forku, and I'm here to present our poster, White Matter Variability, Cognition and Disorders, a Systematic Review. We have seen in previous work that variability is not homogeneous across the brain, which can be seen here by the warm and the cold colors on the white matter, highlighting areas of high and low variability. The areas of high variability shown here tend to be the ones identified as higher cognitive function areas by neuroimaging and lesion studies. But this study was conducted on the whole brain white matter, and we were very much interested in individual pathways. So we set out to do a meta-analysis of 326 studies, looking at structural variability in the white matter and differences in cognitive functions in healthy controls and in neurological and psychiatric patients. Now, there's a couple of important things that we described during this review. The first thing is that what was evident from reviewing this body of literature was that the correlation of anatomical variability and cognitive variance was far more commonly reported for the left hemisphere white matter connections in comparison to the right hemisphere. Second, when we looked at the diffusion indices obtained from these tractography studies, nearly half of these studies reported fractional anisotropy or FA results, and only a fraction of these studies have used advanced diffusion algorithms. Now, looking at the individual tracts, we were able to show that most of what we know about the function of the white matter has been described in brain pathologies. And you can see that here, 45% were described in neurological studies, 29% in psychiatric studies, and only 25% in healthy control studies. Now, the second thing that's important on this slide here is that not all brain connections are studied equally across all cohorts. So if we look at the cortical spinal tract, for example, we can see that it is a very prominent connection in neurological studies, but very rarely considered in psychiatric or healthy participant studies. Now, finally, we have shown that the variability in anatomy is related to variability in cognitive profiles, and importantly, when the connection is damaged, it causes variable clinical symptoms. Now, it's hard to read the slide, so I'm just going to zoom into the three segments of the arcuate fasciculus here. The arcuate is classically considered to be a language pathway, but when we actually looked across the literature, the three segments correlated with measurements of sleep, memory, executive functions, auditory, attention, and motor functions. So in sum, this review has shown that studying the white matter is a reliable measure of variability in anatomy and is related to cognitive differences in health and in disease. And I'm looking forward to discussing this study with you at OHBM 2022 in Glasgow. Thank you.